Welcome to Think Tank. I'm Steve Adubato. We're coming to you from the Agnes Varus NJTV studio in beautiful Brick City, New York, New Jersey. Everything you've ever wanted or needed to know about the federal courts, you're about to find out. Our guest is our good friend Jose Linares, former U.S. Federal District Court Chief Judge for how many years?
I was in the federal court for almost 17 years. I was chief judge for the last couple of years that I was there, the last two.
Judge, tell folks what it means. By the way, you are now with McCarter English as a partner.
That's true.
Tell folks what it means, the federal judge, federal court as opposed to state judge, family court. Like, what's the difference?
Well, it's a big difference. The federal court is obviously, it's a federal court. The judges in the federal court are constitutional officers under Article 3 of the Constitution. They are appointed by the President of the United States, or nominated, I should say, by the President of the United States and approved by the U.S. Senate. And they're lifetime appointments. So it is completely different than the state court system. The nature of the cases they handle is different. There has to be a federal basis for cases to get into federal court, where there is diversity of citizenship among the people in, that are litigants, whether it is a federal crime that is committed, something involving bringing drugs across state lines.
You've handled some high-profile cases. You've been the judge in some high-profile cases.
I did.
High-profile political corruption cases and a whole bunch of others. And one of the things that Jose and I have talked about, and I should disclose, we have a friendship off camera, and so some of these issues come up, but let's talk about this. You've often said, you know what? The number of vacancies in the federal court, there were 16. There's supposed to be 16.
17.
17.
So, yeah.
17, and there are 6 vacancies.
Correct.
And it's been said that we actually need 20.
That's right. That's right.
So, okay, someone says, so what does that mean? Big deal. They have a lot of vacancies. How does that impact the citizens of this region?
It is a huge deal. It is a huge deal. First of all, if you think about it, how many people in New Jersey? Over 8 million people, 8.9 million people, whatever it is. There are 17 federal judges, district court judges, active judges that are supposed to handle the litigation for those citizens and others that come into our courts. So, and as you indicated, Washington, based on the number of cases that we have, based on the complexity of the cases that we have a lot of complicated cases in the federal court, has determined that in reality we're shorthanded to begin with, even if we were at full strength of 17. Citizens should care because the ability of judges, and look, Chief Judge Wolfson and the judges that are there now are doing a tremendous job trying to keep up with everything they have on their plate. But it affects the timeliness of the handling of cases.
Justice delayed is
justice denied. But that's not just a cliche. If you think about it, cases get dismissed. There's a Speedy Trial Act. If cases don't go to trial within a particular time, you have to let them go. How does that affect the citizens of New Jersey, right? How does it affect the citizens of New Jersey when lawyers are saying to their clients, we shouldn't file lawsuits in federal court in New Jersey because it's going to take too long to get there? This is a serious problem. And
is it an emergency?
It is a judicial crisis. It's beyond an emergency. I am telling you, I was there for 17 years. I saw this coming years ago. I had, as the chief judge, and I know that Judge Wolfson has taken the mantle on that and has continued to go forward, trying to pressure the political people to do the right thing. How much of this,
excuse me, Judge, how much, Judge Linares, is this in fact political in the sense that you got a Republican president, Donald Trump, you got a Democrats control New Jersey, at least New Jersey's 2 United States senators are Democrats, Cory Booker and Bob Menendez. What does that have to do with this?
It is 100% political.
How do we know that?
Because that is the only way the vacancies get filled. So therefore, the way the process works, for those that are not familiar with the process in the federal court, first it's a vetting process. You have to get through the White House. The White House has to agree that you're someone that they want to nominate, but that is not done in a vacuum. You have to confer with the senators of the state of New Jersey, right? There is this thing called the blue slip, and generally speaking, there is a tradition where the White House and the senators go back and forth and agree on who the nominations should be coming out of that state. We have a situation here where we have a Republican president. We have 2 Democratic senators, one of which is running for president, right? Cory Booker.
As we do this program.
Right, as we do this program. So it is almost a perfect, I mean, how much engagement is there going to be between Cory Booker and the president on this issue?
But how about if they want to solve it together to help the people of the region?
They should solve it together. And before I could be talk about politics when I was a judge. Now I am free from those shackles and being able to talk about it. This is ridiculous. They need to get together. At the end of the day, they're there to serve the people of New Jersey, to serve the business people of New Jersey.
Not the political agenda.
Not the political agenda. And look, it doesn't matter. And I bet you if you talk to the judges in the state of New Jersey, if you talk to the Chief Judge Wolfson, whoever you talk in that court, they will say to you, I don't care whether they're independent, Republican, Democrat. Give me some good, talented people and let them fill in because we need help.
What do we need to do, Judge, right now?
I think what we need to do and what the people should do and the lawyers should do, because it's really a lawyer and citizen problem, not necessarily a judge problem. I'm not here to tell you judges are crying because they're working hard. The judges are going to work as hard as they can with the cases they have in front of them.
As hard as they work, but
the line keeps getting longer. The line of the cases awaiting adjudication. And what that happens, that has a trickle-down effect. It has a trickle-down effect on the lawyers that cannot service their clients. The clients get upset with the lawyers. The lawyers then lose clients. Clients start filing lawsuits in other states. Corporations say, well, why am I going to do business in New Jersey? I can't get my case adjudicated in time when I have a problem. How about the criminal world? How about people who are waiting to have their Social Security denials at the administrative level that they get appealed to the federal court? And what's going to happen when these are people who allegedly are completely disabled and awaiting their Social Security to be approved or not approved? I mean, it is a disaster. Bankruptcy appeals go to the federal district court. Why would you want to file a bankruptcy in New Jersey, lawyers would say, if I have to appeal it, I have to go to district court and I have to wait?
Quick question before I let you go. The media, we don't spend a lot of time talking about this. You said it's a crisis. What are we missing?
The media putting pressure on the political people and those who are involved in politics, who have the ear of the senators and the president, to say, look, forget politics. New Jersey needs help. And New Jersey, I bet you, and although I don't have the statistic off the top of my head, I bet you that they are, the number of vacancies percentage-wise is probably the biggest in the country.
In the country.
In the country.
Say if a Democrat said, you know, we'll wait till I have a Democratic president, then we'll have Democratic senators in New Jersey, then we'll have a Democratic president, we'll get the judges we want. What's wrong with that approach?
That approach is because it's being politically driven as opposed to being driven by the service of the people of New Jersey.
That's not doing their job.
And that's not doing their job. And how long are we going to wait for that? And you don't know. You can't handicap the political system.
Of course.
No one can tell you now who's going to be president or not going to be president.
But that's not the job of people in the Senate and in the White House. Their job is to have federal judges in position to have the judicial process work.
Absolutely.
Final question before I let you go. 43 states elect judges on the state level.
Yep.
New Jersey is one of 7 that doesn't. Should we just elect our judges?
Well, first of all, 2 things. Number one, New Jersey state judges are not elected. They run a similar process as in the federal level, except through the governor's office, right? Governor appoints, Senate moves.
State Senate moves. Or the U.S. Senate moves?
No, state Senate.
State Senate.
I said U.S. if I did.
No, you didn't.
In the federal court, of course, is the president nominates, the U.S. Senate moves. I think that is the right process. I think that electing senators had too many political interests to get involved.
Electing judges is too dangerous?
Absolutely.
Let the people decide.
No. I'm going to tell you why, because it's not, you know how the political process works, Steve. You've been around the block. It doesn't work that way. You have people who raise money for you. You have to raise money then to become a judge. You have to have a political agenda to it. You make friendships. How does that taint your ability to be truly impartial in the administration of justice? Look, we have enough other issues that come into play trying to bias judges, right? And people always accusing judges of political activism and being,
or bias or whatever,
a Democrat judge or a federal or a Republican judge or whatever. Being elected just, I think, puts that on steroids.
So people may think that makes sense. Let us decide, but the reality is what you need to do to become a judge or get elected is not the same to actually be a good judge.
Right. You want to have a true independence when you get there, which is really shown in the federal judiciary. If you think about it, you get appointed through that process that I explained, and now you're appointed for life. It doesn't matter who appointed you. My first case was a case, one of my first cases was a case where Governor Corzine was trying to get an injunction against President Bush, who had appointed me like a month earlier.
Several governors
ago in the Port of Dubai debacle. There was a contract that the Bush administration wanted to enter with some company from Dubai, and Corzine was trying to stop it. I didn't feel like I had an allegiance to one side or the other. I was truly independent, and that is,
Judicial
the
independence.
Right place to be. Of course, we have the whole issue with the press always, and the great amount of press.
We help a lot, don't we? I'll leave that
Not
alone.
always.
By the way, I want to thank retired, former U.S. Federal District Court Chief Judge Jose Linares, who is a partner at
McCarter in English.
I want to thank you for joining us, Jose, on Think Tank and giving us, frankly, an awful lot to think about. Thank you, Judge.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
I'm Steve Adubato. Stay tuned. We'll be right back for Think Tank right after this.
Think Tank with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 30 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of Think Tank with Steve Adubato has been provided by Atlantic Health System, Valley Bank, NJIT, New Jersey Resources, New Jersey Sharing Network, Choose New Jersey, and by Kessler Foundation. Promotional support provided by NorthJersey.com and Local IQ, and by BestOfNJ.com. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.